All right, so we are right at 11 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and start. For everyone who's joining us, those folks that are new, you can go ahead and drop any comments or questions you have for David in the chat box below or in the Q&A section below, and he'll be taking those at the end of his presentation. And I am going to go ahead and turn it over to David.
Thanks, Caitlin. Hi, my name is David Zelasko with Third Sun Solar. I'm a sales consultant with Third Sun, primarily in the Northeast Ohio area, but we serve all of Ohio on both the residential and the commercial side. And we've been doing these webinars now as we're working remotely. And so we've done webinars on battery storage, Solar 101, and also commercial solar. And today we're going to talk about financing solar. There's a lot of different programs out there, so we're gonna touch on that today. And the agenda for today, I'm going to introduce the company, what Third Sun is all about. Briefly go over how solar works. Again, if you want a more in-depth analysis on that, we have a webinar from 2 weeks ago called Solar 101. And then I'll go over how financing works in solar on the residential side, our easy steps to financing, and then if you have any questions during the presentation, you can drop them up in the chat box, or if you're on Facebook, you can put a comment and we'll address those questions at the end. Then I'll go over how financing works in solar on the residential side. So we are Third Sun Solar. This is our 20th year in business. We are headquartered in Athens, Ohio, but have teams across the states. And what really sets us apart is that we are a construction company first. We do everything in-house, from engineering, permitting, consultations, and then installations, and we also have licensed electricians on staff as well. So we take care of from start to finish for you, and our reputation on the construction side and customer service is what been keeping us around for these last 20 years. So we were founded in 2000. We are a certified B Corp and woman-owned business. We have over 1,000 clean energy installations across the United States, about 14 states. Primarily, most of those installations are in Ohio, and we're licensed electrical and general contractors. As I mentioned, we are a B Corp. So this is based off our triple bottom line impact approach and using business as a force for good. So this is based on how we treat various factors in the environmental side, how we treat our employees and our community. And so every 3 years we get audited on how we're meeting those metrics. And so that is something that a lot of our customers appreciate and know that we're in here as a mission-driven company. So I'm going to talk mostly residential systems. So this is a typical residential roof-mounted system, and we can also do ground-mount systems as well. And then I'll briefly go over how solar works. So when we're talking about financing a system, we're primarily talking about grid-tied solar systems. And grid-tied systems can have a battery or they don't need to. And so what is going on is that we put panels on your roof or on your property. The sun's DC energy is collected by the panels. It's going through a device called the inverter that is conditioning the power to be used in the house and in the grid to AC power. And so the magic here is that inverter is going into your load, so it's being used at that time as it's being produced, which means you're taking less power from the utility, avoiding costs to them at that time as well. And a lot of times, especially through spring, summer, and fall, our customers can produce more than they are using at the home. And so that excess energy, if the home doesn't need that solar that's being produced, it'll go back through a bidirectional meter and go back into the utility. And so the utility at the end of the month will take a look at, okay, what did they take from us in terms of energy and electricity, and what did they send us from their solar? And the difference of the two is, of those numbers, is how you're billed or potentially credited for your electricity. So that process, we call that net metering, and that is a big way that you can lower your electric bills and take control of your power usage. And so this is the goal. This is a customer of ours electric bill in AEP, which is mostly Central Ohio territory. And you can see this graph is showing their usage. And so how much energy they've used. And when you're starting getting into May through November, those numbers are getting very small and even to the negative. So when you have months like June, you have an excess generation that you're sending to the utility, they're giving you a credit for that. And the analogy is a little bit antiquated, but it's kind of like rollover minutes on the old cell phones, where that credit rolls over to the next month's balance, and you're carrying over a balance. So here's a good example of, even through, you know, having negative balances through the summer months, going into some of the winter months, they're still having a $0 bill. So this is the goal, and how we work with people is, if they're interested in solar, we request an electric bill on what you use now, and then we can do an analysis and match you up with different financing programs and sizing up the system accordingly to that usage. So I'm going to go into financing now. And again, this is the main topic of today's webinar. And the reason we bring this up is because there's a lot of different options out there. And with solar becoming so mainstream these days, you may see a lot of digital ads either on Facebook or in Google for no cost or free solar. Unfortunately, you know, if it sounds too good to be true, it most likely is. And while they're saying no cost or free, that's different from zero down, where you're paying monthly payments instead of paying upfront for the system. So we'll go into how that works here. So a lot of people will finance their solar, and the big reason is, you know, they're not having to put out that big, large capital up front. Residential systems, they can range quite a large range in pricing, but on average, most of our systems we see between the $20,000 and $30,000 mark. And so financing allows you to go solar with no money down. You're just paying monthly payments. There's no prepayment penalties on some of the programs that we offer. And as soon as you install that system, you are immediately increasing the property value of your home. Anytime that you can lower the cost of utility, whether that's a new efficient appliances, energy efficient windows, you're lowering that utility bill for the next homeowner, the next buyer, and that increases your property value. And financing also can lock in a fixed rate depending on which route you go, and we'll get deeper into that. And when you finance, the programs we offer are loan to own, so you still are able to take the tax incentives. And so right now, the tax credit for this year is 26%. So if a customer installs the system, it's completed by the end of 2020, they get a 26% tax credit off the total cost of that system. So again, you can sign up. We'll have a link here if you want an estimate. What I'll do is give you a proposal, show the total amount and also the tax credit amount. I would encourage you to, if you have someone that helps you with your taxes, just show them that, see how the tax credit will apply to you. Because everybody's different, and we're more of a solar expert as opposed to tax experts. But this graph will show you right now it's 26%. If you wait till next year, that tax credit is going down to 22%. And then in 2022, it's scheduled to disappear for homeowners. So we offer various types of financing because solar is not one size fits all. We have various different customers and how they want to finance this. So when you're considering financing, I would consider these questions. So do you value a small monthly payment over a longer term, or smallest interest rates and want to pay it off as fast as you can? Some financing programs, they require a lien on the home, like a HELOC or a home equity loan, and we'll get into more of those. And also, are you eligible for the federal tax liability? If not, we may, if you don't have a tax liability, we may steer you towards a different type of financing program. And then also, are you looking to finance additional items when going solar? So we have programs that you can finance a new roof, as well as a battery storage system, and there's programs for electric vehicles as well. So one of our first options, we call it our smart solar financing. And so we partner with a company, they're another B corporation that does solar loans and home improvement loans. And this is probably the easiest process. You will go zero down, which means your systems won't start until installation is completed. There's also no prepayment penalties. These are amortized loans as well that require no lien on the home. So everything that is secured on the loan is secured by the equipment itself. So if you're not wanting to do a home equity or put a lien on the house, this is a great option for you as well. And these loans have various terms. So you can go zero down, small monthly payments over a 10, 15, or 20-year term. And the interest rates there vary. They can vary between 3 to 6%. And so talk and go over a specific proposal, we'll lay all that information out for you based on your specific situation. Our partner can also finance battery storage. So if you wanted to add a backup battery system, we are certified to install the Tesla Powerwalls that allow for energy backup and also a little more self-consumption mode of the solar. You can finance that as well. And this is also a good loan if you can utilize the tax credit. So if you can utilize the tax credit, you can pay down your principal on your loan with that tax credit and have a better monthly payment for the rest of the term. And this year, we can do everything remotely. We can get customers approved within minutes and signed up for this program. It's a very simple process. There's another option that we have out there called the Clean Energy Credit Union. And this was actually part of our co-founder and CEO, Michelle Greenfield, helped start this and is on the board of directors. And so this is a credit union, has no brick or mortar stores, but services the country on various clean energy loans. And it operates similar to other credit unions where you can deposit and make saving accounts in here. And all that money is going used towards these clean energy projects. So we use them for our solar and battery systems. But if you're also interested in seeing electric vehicles, they also do geothermal projects. There's a lot of good options for this. And they have different term loans. So you can do a short-term loan financing a portion of the project for either 12 or 18 months, or a longer-term loan looking around 12 or 15 years. And so those two options, don't work for you. A lot of our customers will do traditional bank financing. And so we have customers that come to us that already have an open home equity line of credit that they can use. Traditional banks can give a home equity loan or home improvement loan. We have partnered with a bank as well that can give 0 interest for 12 months, if that's something that you're interested in. And then also the state of Ohio has a program called EcoLink. And this utilizes home equity loans or home improvement loans. And last year and for several years before that, this program would take 3% interest rate reduction on home equity or home improvement loans. So if you were qualified at 5% interest rate on a home equity loan, and you wanted to use that loan for solar or any other energy efficient upgrades, the state of Ohio would reduce your interest rate by 3 percentage points. Unfortunately, given the current state of financing and interest rates, we're not seeing that 3% interest rate reduction anymore. So this is something that not a lot of our customers are using at the moment, but if anything changes, we're paying attention and seeing how this program would work out. When you do these types of programs or this type of financing with your bank, that is between you and your bank. We don't really facilitate that loan process. We don't get you approved. What we would do is provide any information the bank needs so that you can get approved and get the loan and get the project going. So depending on what you're looking for, we can help steer you in the right direction. So those are our financing options that we have out there. And our easy steps to solar is basically getting an assessment done. You can sign up at this link, and we'll be distributing this as well. Really what we do is we can remotely look at your site, see how much solar we can fit on the roof or on the property, and then also analyze electric bills and show you how much savings that you can see. And so with financing, especially if you go our smart solar financing route, we'll look at what is your current electric bill and what is your current rates and your usage, and then show you different financing and monthly payment options throughout that can be based on those numbers. And so big reason why people use the smart financing is that you can do a 10, 15, or 20-year loan. And what that really is doing is locking in your rate of electricity. So a big reason people use that route is that they don't have to put any money down, but also right now, electric rates, your utility can raise your rates tomorrow. And historically, they have been raising them over time. And so if you can lock in and lock in your payment and portion of your electricity over 10 or 15, 20 years, as electricity rates grow, your savings start to increase. And then at the end of those terms, you can own the system. So it's a good way to go solar, see the economic savings without initial payments and putting any money down. All right, and here's a little review from one of our customers here locally in my area. And so this is a big reason, again, why we've been successful over our 20 years, is positive reviews and also referrals. A lot of our customers, about 50% of the projects we work with are coming from referrals from neighbors and friends of our customers. So that really speaks to our quality of work and the service that you get from us. So now I'm happy to open up to any questions that we received throughout the presentation.
Thanks so much, David. That was a lot of great info. So our question and answer session is now open. We're taking questions from our Zoom viewers. Go ahead and type any questions you have into the Q&A box or into the chat feature. Those of us joining us on Facebook, you've got a bit of a delay there, so we'll get to your questions eventually, but there is a delay there. And I will go ahead and say, as we're waiting for questions to come in, we will be sending out an email to those of you who are joining us through Zoom. Those of you who are joining us through Facebook, feel free to hop on our website, get onto our newsletter list, and you'll find out about more events like this in the future. On our YouTube page, we'll also have this this session later uploaded. So it will be available for you to watch again if there are any elements that you've missed or would like to hear David repeat. So we've got our first couple of questions coming in. Our first question, can you share what the interest rates are for some of your loan options?
Yeah, they vary on different programs. If you were to use a bank, that's going to be between you and your bank and whatever rates are at the current moment. With some of our options, they can range anywhere from 3 to 6% interest rate, and so that varies on term length and also your approval rating.
Great. So 10 to 20 year would be kind of that 3 to 6% range.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Great. Second question that we've got here, is DC available from the system to charge phones, laptops, EV directly?
So there's a lot of variables to that. So mostly what we do are DC to AC systems. If you want DC directly, there's a certain inverter that has a secure power supply that you may be able to get away with that on. It allows 15 amps of peak energy when the sun is shining. And so, and that inverter is typically we only do on ground mounts. So it's going to vary on your specific situation. But most of our systems are going to be DC to AC. And then any of that energy that you're using is going to be offset by the solar.
Mm-hmm. We do install EV chargers though, right?
We do, yes. So we can install level 2 chargers that you can use to charge your electric vehicles.
Awesome. Next question, what generation of solar panels are we using?
Generation of solar panels. So we have switched to, if you're familiar, and I'm not sure if this is what you're talking about, but there's typically 2 types of solar cells. You have polycrystalline and monocrystalline. And we have switched to using all of the mono, which is a higher efficient cells, higher power production, and also typically have black cells. And so a lot of people, for aesthetics, like the all black modules, that black backing sheets, black cells, black framing. So we've moved towards all monocrystalline because of the increasing quality, of the increase of aesthetics. And then in terms of brands, we use various options that are approved by our member co-op that we belong to, Amicus Solar Cooperative. So through that process, we look at various different manufacturers. We look at the quality of the cells, the warranty and the claims history and process, and then also the financial stability of that manufacturer. So over 20 years, we've seen a lot of companies, manufacturers go under. And so by looking at their balance sheet and seeing if they're holding a lot of debt or not, will help us determine if this is a good company to back. So I hope that answers your question.
Great. And you can feel free to respond to us too if it does or not. And that is the extent of the questions we have so far. I'll go ahead and remind folks that we'll be reaching out to you, those of you in our Zoom, with a little survey. We're wondering what else you are interested in learning about, hearing from us. And as we continue our Zoom and virtual education sessions, we'd love to be answering the questions that you have right now. So look for that in your email inbox. And it looks like we don't have any additional comments or questions coming in. And if you're watching this in the future or do have a question, feel free to comment on the video on our YouTube page, or send us an email, info@thirdsonsolar.com, and we'd be happy to answer them for you.
Great. Thanks for everyone for joining us.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Have a great day.